Hey guys, this is Adam Bégin, licensed realtor with LPT Realty right here in the beautiful state of Florida. Today I'm going to take you around one of my favorite small towns in the Panhandle. This is the historic district of DeFuniak Springs, Florida. Okay, so as we're driving around, I'm going to give you the history of DeFuniak Springs because there is a lot of it. So basically, starting back in 1885, DeFuniak Springs, it wasn't DeFuniak Springs just yet, but the area began hosting the multi-week event called the Florida Chautauqua Assembly, which basically put the city on the map. The Florida Chautauqua Assembly acted as the winter home for the New York Chautauqua, which was a festival that featured cultural, educational, and religious activities. So basically an event, a festival that started up in New York. By way of railroad, they found DeFuniak Springs and decided to make this the stop and the home of the Chautauqua Assembly. The railroad began operation in 1882, and at this stop there's a big lake which is now known as Lake DeFuniak, but back then they named it Open Pond, and that's how they identified the stop. Now later, Open Pond soon became known as DeFuniak Springs in honor of Frederick DeFuniak, who was one of the founding officers of the Pensacola and Atlantic Railroad. Right now we're driving on a street called Circle Drive. Circle Drive is a perfect loop that goes around Lake DeFuniak. So all of these houses that we're looking at, they go right up to Circle Drive, which goes right up to Lake DeFuniak. So they're all looking out across Circle Drive onto Lake DeFuniak, which I'm going to show you the lake here in just a little bit later on in this video. But Circle Drive has around 200 historic homes and buildings directly on it, 40 of which are noted in the National Register of Historic Places. So if you're a history buff, there is definitely a ton of history in this area for you to check out. So still on Circle Drive, this is the Walton County Heritage Museum. This is a great resource for you to get your day in DeFuniak Springs started. If you have questions or want to know more history about the area, definitely a great place to go and check out. Hours are limited. They're open Tuesday through Saturday from 1 to 4 p.m. and admission's free. While you're in there, grab yourself a free brochure to take the walking historical tour around Lake DeFuniak. There's 17 historical sites to check out, and the brochure will tell you where they are. This is the Walton DeFuniak Library, established in 1886. It's actually the oldest operating library in the state of Florida in its original building. And it's home to part of an antique weapons and armor collection started by Palmer College professor Kenneth Bruce. It houses over 100 weapons and pieces of armor from the collection, and it's actually home to a first edition signed copy of Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird, one of many treasures that can be found here in this library. On the side of the library and wrapping down behind it, there's a nice garden that's filled with all kinds of native Florida plants. So check out a book, go find yourself a bench, and enjoy a good read. This is Lake DeFuniak, also known as Open Pond when it was first discovered. The Lake DeFuniak is 1 mile around on its circumference, it's 70 feet deep, and fun fact for you, it's one of 2 of the most perfectly round naturally occurring lakes in the world. As you walk in the steps of past presidents, first ladies, Hollywood stars, songwriters, and many more on DeFuniak Springs Historic Walking Trail. Be sure to stop by the Chautauqua Hall of Brotherhood. This is arguably the most iconic building in the DeFuniak Springs historic area. This is Chipley Park, a 260-acre park on Lake DeFuniak. It offers several amenities for the family to enjoy. It's listed on the Florida Birdwatching Trail as well as the Rosalind Carter Butterfly Trail. And when you're ready for lunch, grab a hot dog from the oldest operating stand in the state of Florida. So now we're turning on to Baldwin Avenue, also known as like the Main Street area of downtown historic DeFuniak Springs. Every Saturday there's a farmer's market that takes place on this Main Street area right here, and basically anytime there's an event or something big going on in DeFuniak Springs, this area is going to be hopping right here. There's a few great restaurants here to check out. One of them we're passing now is Perla Baking Company. It's been featured on TV a few times. Very, very good place to grab a pastry and some coffee. And as we make our way down this last section of Main Street in downtown historic DeFuniak Springs, Florida, after all the shopping and walking throughout the day, I recommend ending your day with a great dinner at what's become a local staple, a Humphrey Bogart-inspired restaurant called Bogey's. And as a reminder, if you or someone you know is looking to buy or sell real estate in the Panhandle of Florida, don't hesitate to reach out. I'd love to help.